Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video. If you are new here, my name is Nicole and I make bookish related content once a week on the internet. So basically, if you can hear licking sounds in the background, that's Oliver. I'm trying to keep him quiet whilst I film this video. It doesn't always work, so we'll try our best. So today's video is the July TBR. I've essentially just picked out 6 books that I do want to read. Now, if you watched my June TBR, you would know that I did go quite crazy on the fantasy novels. And I made a comment in that book, watch the July TBR just be a whole bunch of contemporaries because I've completely just overloaded myself with too many, too many fantasies. But I have gone for a bit more of a balance of like contemporaries and sort of fantasy-ish novels for this month. So I'm not going as crazy, but we've got a bit more of a better balance as well. Just wanted to say that if you can see this on my hand, yeah, it's a little bit gross. I haven't peeled it off yet. I'm fine. Just wanted to say if anyone's concerned, I'm all good. Don't need to stress. It's just because I'm a sook and I haven't taken this off my hand yet. Let's just get straight into my July TBR. So the first book that I actually want to talk about is one where I've been mentioning these books every single TBR nearly for most of this year. And that book is The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. This is the 5th and final book in the Heroes of Olympus series. At the time I'm filming this, I haven't picked up The House of Hades just yet, which is the 4th book in this novel, but I have just finished my current read. So my plan is to pick up The House of Hades because I'm filming this a couple days before June ends. So my plan is to finish The House of Hades before the end of June. So of course I want to pick up the final book in this series. This is also a part of the 24 books I want to read in 2024 and also part of one of the book series I want to get off and read from my TBR card this year. So that is why I'm picking it up. I can't tell you what this book is about because I don't know how The House of Hades ends, so I don't know what's going on. But essentially we have a whole new prophecy. We've got 7 demigods. We have Percy Jackson back. We've got Annabeth back. I was about to call her Annabelle then. And then we have essentially 5 other new demigods who are helping us out. We've also discovered that there is a Roman camp like the Greek camp for the Camp Half-Bloods. We've now got our Roman camp, which is Camp Jupiter. So we've got some demigods from Camp Jupiter helping us out as part of this prophecy, but we've got Mother Gaia who's basically wanting to come back to life and take over Earth and be in control. And because the Roman and Greek demigods are interacting, the gods don't really know how to function essentially, because anytime you sort of think about them, either their Greek or Roman counterpart, that's kind of the persona that they personify. That didn't really work. That's kind of the person that they are. But when you kind of have the demigods together, thinking about them as both the Greek and the Roman counterparts, they kind of alternate and switch between the two, and it's kind of made them not function very well. I still think they're useless anyway. But yeah, we've got the final quest. We're going to find out what happens, see how this story is resolved. Obviously, the demigods are going to win. I don't know how. I just know that they will because it's a fantasy novel and that's always what happens at the end of these books. But I'm excited to finally get this book finished because then I only have 2 more Rick Riordan series that I need to read. But like there's new books he's coming out and I can't read them because I'm not up to date with everything. So yeah, I'm going to just be excited to finally finish and read this one and get it off my TBR. Let's just do more of the darker books first and then we'll get on to the contemporary stuff. So the second book that I want to pick up and read in the month of July is Wretched by Emily McIntyre. Anytime I have to talk about this book, I don't know how to pronounce this word. And then Taylor Swift's Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, I was listening to it and she says wretched. And I'm like, Taylor says it's pronounced wretched. I'm going to call it wretched. So if that's wrong, you can blame Taylor Swift. But I, for a really long time, thought that this was the 4th book in the series. So sorry, I should explain what it is if you haven't seen any of my TBR videos before. This is the 3rd novel in the Never After novels by Emily McIntyre. The first book is Hooked, which I read last year. And then Scarred, which is the 2nd book. I've got a lol funny story about that for you guys in my June reading wrap up. I stupidly went out last year and bought all 4 of the books in this series. I read Hooked and I just really didn't gel with it at all. And then I'm sort of just forcing myself to read the rest of them. Like I just want to read them to get them like off my TBR. So I thought let's just pick up Wretched because I kind of feel in the mood to read it. I don't really enjoy these novels. What Emily McIntyre does is that she takes a fairy tale or like Disney sort of story that we know about and then she kind of gives it like a lot of twists, makes it a bit modern, ages them up. There's a lot of like just mafia vibes. Guys just murdering people for the sake of it and pointless murder in my opinion. And yeah, she calls them fractured fairy tales essentially. And this one focuses on like Wizard of Oz or like Wicked themes. I'm not too sure like what goes on in it, but I always thought this was the 4th one and that Twisted was actually the 3rd one. But I discovered when reading Scarred that I had it around the wrong way. So I am going to pick this one up, like I said, just to get it off my TBR. I don't actually know what it's about. I do think it's more Wicked than Wizard of Oz though. Focus on Evelina Westerly. She's always been the bad guy as the brains, brawn, and botanist behind her family's drug empire. See, mafia vibes, there's drugs. She's her father's ruthless secret weapon. After a one-night stand with a gorgeous man at a nightclub, she sated her urges and is back to her criminal ways. That is until the same man shows up as the new Westerly lackey under a totally different name. But Nicholas Woodsworth's real secret is much more dangerous than an alias? Than an alias. Sorry, my brain was ticking over there. He's an undercover DEA agent and he's hellbent on destroying the drug trade that devastated his family. I don't know if it's Evelina. I don't know, embodies everything he's against and he's been sent here to be her downfall, yet the more they learn about the darkness in each other's hearts, the more alike they seem, and when hatred turns to something more, Nicholas will need to decide whether he can love a wretched woman, even if it means bringing both of their lives to ruin. I'm not overly familiar with the story of Wicked. This is definitely giving me more Wicked vibes than Wizard of Oz. I've only ever seen the play, I think once, maybe twice maximum. I am planning on seeing the movie when they get released, so I don't get any sort of Wicked vibes. I don't know how much I'm going to like this one. Maybe I'll really like it because it doesn't relate to, I'm not familiar with the context, so maybe I'll actually enjoy it. But these books just really focus on a lot of toxic men who treat women as property, and then she's mine, and there's just pointless killing, and they're just a whole heap of tropes and themes that I really just don't enjoy reading. It's not my preference. It's not that they're bad. It's just I just don't enjoy those tropes. So as such, I don't enjoy the book. I read Scarred, spoiler, in a couple of days. They're easy, quite quick reads once you can get past all the stuff I don't like about it. But yeah, I'm just going to pick this one up because I'd like to finish these books this year and essentially just sell them on and move them on to somebody else who might enjoy them more than I will, because yeah, I'm just not enjoying them, which is disappointing because they sounded so good. I am once again going to take off the sticker. Oh, I was so close to getting it off too, but at least you can actually read the price tag on this one. But I don't want to talk about how much I spent on these books, especially because I'm not enjoying them. But that is Wretched by Emily McIntyre. And then the third and I guess final fantasy novel that I want to pick up is Crown of Feathers by Nikki Pau-Preto. Apologies if I've pronounced that incorrectly. This is a book series that I think I purchased them last year or the year before, but essentially I purchased these books because I thought that they were dragons stories. If you're looking at the cover and going, what the fuck? Yeah, for some reason I saw this and went, that's a dragon. I think I just saw the fire and presumed that was a dragon. No, it's a phoenix. If you're sitting here going, that looks like a phoenix, I want you to know that you are correct and I'm just a moron, because it is in fact a phoenix. It is not a dragon. I don't know how I saw the title Crown of Feathers and went, that's a dragon story, because dragons don't have feathers, they have scales. So I really can't explain to anyone why I thought that this book and the rest of the books in this series were about dragons. I mean, the sequel's called Wings of Shadow, and then we've also got Hearts of Flame. I don't actually know which one's second, which one's third. So they sound a bit more dragon-esque, but this one has nothing at all to do with dragons. And it wasn't until I was doing my actual video for the book series I want to read this year, which this book series is on it. I need to start it because I'm looking at the fact that we're in July and there's a couple of series on there that I haven't read and I haven't started, and I'm panicking because I have to do my update video on that and I haven't started it. So I'm I need to pick it up and read it. It's also fantasy and I'm trying not to have too many fantasy series on the go at once. And the only other sort of fantasy dystopian style series I had to start was another Mary Lou one. I just want another break from her, so I don't want to pick it up. But what is this book about? Phoenixes. That's all I know because I don't remember, because I bought it that long ago. So is the blurb gonna tell me anything? I don't know. So I'm a daughter of death. From the ashes I rose like a phoenix from the pyre. That's how I discovered this was a phoenix story, not a dragon story. I had a sister once. I promised her the throne would not come between us, but it is a fact of life that one must kill or be killed, rule or be ruled. Sometimes the title of queen is given, sometimes it must be taken. Now I remember reading that blurb and being really excited. So it sounds cool. It sounds like we've at least got two sisters. They must be of royalty. I guess they're princesses. I don't know if one of them is inheriting the throne because she's the eldest, or how they work out how, the crown passes between them. But essentially she must have said to her sister, yeah, no, you can be the queen. It's all good. I don't want to be the queen. And then I'm getting the vibes that she may have killed her sister sister and she has the crown, or that's going to happen. I don't know, because this blurb is intriguing and cool, but it doesn't really tell you anything about the actual story. So I am going in blind about this book, but I'm expecting there's like going to be a fight between the sisters if there hasn't been one, or she's already killed or something like that. I'm interested to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen because that blurb gives you nothing. I do think these were a little bit popular. I haven't really heard many people talk about them. I'm a little bit nervous to pick it up purely because it's 477 pages. Wow, we're going really back in time. We've got all of the kings and queens listed at the back of this book. I think it also might be dual point of view. Oh, we've got a Tristan and a Veronica, and then we had somebody else. Oh, there's like multiple points of view in this, I've just discovered. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to let you know in the July wrap up what I thought of this and whether or not I'll be picking up the next book in August. So we'll just have to wait and see. All right, so that's going to leave it there for kind of the fantasy novels. And then we're going to go into more of the contemporaries. And I'm going to be honest, with this sort of July TBR, I kind of just picked for the contemporaries, just went, yep, you'll do. I don't really know what I want to read. I just picked some books. Once again, leaving myself with 6 books for July, just so that I can read some other books off my TBR. I got really excited today when I was picking out my TBR because I finally felt like I was moving my books and getting the unread books on my shelves off and into the TBR, and the TBR cart looks like it's moving and changing, which is exciting for me. But one of the prompts in my Taylor's Errors reading challenge is that you have to read like a YA contemporary novel. Is it? No, I've already read that. I don't. Why did I think that? I don't know. I don't. I've just realized I've already done that one for debut. Well, now I don't know why I've picked this book. Or have I picked it because this is the last book by this author I haven't read yet? Maybe that's why. But anyway, I'm just going to talk about the book because I'm just rambling at this point. And the 4th book I want to read is Always Jane by Jen Bennett. Started reading her like well over 6 years ago. She's probably one of my favorite YA authors. This book came out a while ago, but I just haven't been in the mood to read it, in all honesty. But I also hate because she's changed the covers and made them more like cartoony, and they're not cute and I don't love them. And I think that's part of the reason why I haven't picked it up, is that I've also really gotten into more new adult style contemporary books that I'm interested in reading in, and I'm really worried that I'm going to read this book and just find it a bit too immature for me, just because I'm like 31 now. When I started reading her books, I was like 25 or something, but I'm like a little iffy to pick these up because I'm worried I'm not going to enjoy them. I don't even remember what this book is about. I'm just reading it because of how long it's been on my TBR. All right, so we've got 18-year-old Jane. She is a chauffeur's daughter, and she grew up among the domestic staff of a wealthy LA rock producer. And so every summer, her and her dad had to head to Sierras to work at the producer's luxury lodge at Lake Condor, which is a resort town and the site of a major music festival. And she's had a long-time crush on the eldest son, Eddie. And it looks like there's a long-distance romance that sparks between the two of them. And it looks like her feelings are thrown into question when she returns back the following summer and she reconnects with his brother, who's the Dark Horse. He's also a fellow lover of music and hater of the game. Fen has been ousted from the family and is slumming it at a vinyl record shop. He burns for Jane like a house on fire and will do anything to sabotage his older brother, even if it means taking a wrecking ball to a multi-million-dollar music festival. All right, so looks like we've got the good little girl, falls for, I guess, the older brother that everyone thinks she should. In comes the younger bad boy brother to wreck her summer plans. So look, I've always enjoyed Jen Bennett's writing style, so I'm hoping that's the case with this one, and that I enjoy it. But I'm hoping it's going to be like a cute, fun, little light summer read in the middle of winter for me. But that's why I'm picking it up, and the more I look at this cover, the more I'm growing on it, and the colors just are working for my brain right now. And then the 4th book I want to pick up is also, I think, a YA novel, and it is We Can't Keep Meeting Like This by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Just take note that that's so badly sun damaged it's gone blue. It's supposed to be purple. This is another food book that I realized that I had on my TBR that I hadn't read. So if you watched any of my other TBR books, I went through a real trend at the start of the year where I just decided to read all of my cooking related books, and I forgot that I had this one. So we've got Quinn and Tarek. Both of their families have been in business together for years. Quinn's parents are wedding planners and Tarek's own a catering company, so that's how they've been in business together, I would say. And at the end of the previous summer, Quinn confessed her crush on Tarek in the form of a rambling email, and then he left for college and didn't give her a response. That's awkward. It's probably the next summer and they're gonna run into each other. So yeah, Quinn has been dreading seeing him again almost as much as she dreads another summer playing the harp for her parents' weddings. Oh, that's sucks. So when he shows up at the first wedding of the summer looking cuter than ever after a year apart, they clash immediately. Tarek's always been a fan of grand gestures, while Quinn can't see them as anything but fake. As her parents push her to take on more responsibilities, she's thrown together with Tarek more often than she'd like, from performing a daring cake rescue to filling in for a missing bridesmaid and groomsman. Get fucked, no way. Quinn can't deny her feelings for him are still there, especially after she learns the truth about his silence, opens up about her own fears and begins learning the art of harp making from an enigmatic teacher. Maybe love isn't the enemy after all. Maybe allowing herself to fall is the most honest thing Quinn's ever done. So it's probably going to be like a little bit like friends to loverish because they've known each other. It just sounds like a cute, fun, easy little rom-com read. I do like that they're a little bit older, but yeah, I mean, this sounds cute. It sounds fun. There's wedding, there's cakes. I mean, essentially is the cool, fun, easy vibes for this one. And then the sixth and final book that I want to read in July is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I did pick this one up, I think it was in April. It's either April or May. Essentially, I've just seen this book everywhere on Bookstagram and Book Talk. I am not a fan of cowboy romances. I just don't get the appeal in them. I don't know. There's just something about a cowboy that I just don't understand what's appealing. I like about them. Like, someone please explain. I do not understand how a man in cowboy boots, jeans, a fucking flannel, and a cowboy hat is attractive. Like, someone please explain, because that sounds like my worst nightmare. Okay? Like, I hate flannelette shirts. I do not understand the appeal. They're hideous. They're tacky. They're so freaking bogan. And I just don't like cowboy boots. Like, all the hats. Like, I don't understand how that whole image just screams sexual to people, because I'm just not here for it. Give me a man in a well-dressed suit any day. Fuck, I take a tradie. I have to say that. My partner's a tradie. I just don't get it. So I'm basically giving this a go because everyone's obsessed with it and I want to see what the go is. Maybe it'll make me like cowboys. There are so many cowboy romances that people are going on about, and I haven't picked any of them up because you just heard my rant about cowboys. Essentially, I just want to give this one a go and see what it's like. So I am concerned because it's a TikTok popular book. Nothing ever good comes out of TikTok. So basically, we are focusing on Emmy Ryder. She's accomplished everything on her to-do list. She's left her small town, went to college, made a career for herself by doing her favorite thing, riding horses. But after an accident makes it impossible for her to get back into the saddle, she has no choice but to return to the hometown she always wanted to escape. Then we have Luke Brooks. He's the most notorious bad boy, bar owner, and bachelor. He's also the unofficial member of the Ryder family. Yep. Amy's older brother's best friend. Okay, we've got brother's best friend trope. I don't hate that depending on how the brother acts. If he's all protective and shit, I just don't like that. And Luke has spent most of his childhood antagonizing her. It's been years since they've seen one another, but when she walks into his bar and back into his life, he can't take his eyes off her. And against his better judgment, he wants to do a whole lot more than just look at her. All right, so I guess it's just about their little romance. She's coming back to town. She's potentially injured, or maybe she's not injured, but she's healed. She can't get back into doing what she loves. She's probably a little bit lost, disorientated, and unsure of where to take the direction of her life. Probably why she's winding up in bars, and they probably start out having some one-night stands and shit. So I have only picked up the first book. I haven't picked up the sequel. I do know that there's at least a third and a fourth book in this series, but I'm just going to read the first one, and if I don't enjoy it, I don't have a second book to pick up and read. I am learning not to do this. It's only taken me 31 years, but it's fine. Oh, the font's big and the pages are short. Excellent. Let's just see what this one's about. See if I enjoy it. It's a new one to my collection. It just seems like it'll be a good book to break up in between sort of the fantasy reads, which is what I like to do. Okay, guys, so they are all 6 books that I want to read in the month of July. If you have read any of these, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, especially on A Crown of Feathers and also Done and Dusted. I would like people's opinions on those 2 books. If anyone has read any of them, let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week for my June reading wrap up. Bye, guys.